Welcome back to the Now Morning Show at 6:37 a.m. in Trinidad and Tobago, and we are talking about where Trinbago culture meets contemporary style. Joining us is the creative director of KAMBE, Kambe Lovelace, to share some more. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Natasha. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so happy to have you with us on the show this morning as well. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure, and we're excited to learn a little bit more about your style and also what you are bringing to the table, redefining what we know honestly as rigidity when it comes to corporate wear.
Loves it.
But before we get into that, tell us what brought you to where you are today, where you decided to do this fusion.
Okay, so I've been in fashion for about 12 years, right? And I found that what I saw a lot focused a lot on resort wear and pitching this relaxed vibe, right? Mm-hmm. But where I grew up and the things that I have done, it feels like, there is a lot of rigidity in Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah. We all work jobs. If you ask somebody today, mm-hmm. How things are going for you, it's boy, real pressure, mm-hmm. I gotta go to work and then after I have to do this thing, And so looking at that and incorporating fashion, I was like, how could we take the rigidity of corporate and corporate wear and kind of distort it and elevate it and make it something more versatile, something that you could wear out of the office and make a statement. So yeah, that's where the inspiration came from.
And it definitely, of course, matches our culture. As we were talking about off air, one of the things we do is, after work, especially on a weekend, we take a little lie and we de-stress. And we want to make sure that when we do that, we don't necessarily have to go and change clothes or just be too uncomfortable, because we also live in a hot climate.
True,
and it never ceases to amaze me, and I'm sure you as well, knowing your journey, that we're there in these three-piece suits. It's over 31 degrees Celsius, and it's just something that we need to sort of reframe. So this is what you're doing, you're reframing. And when it came to reframing, what materials did you look at, and what materials do we now see in your, congratulations on your 6-piece collection?
Thank you very much. So I looked at typical corporate wear standards, right? So when you think corporate, you might think pinstripe or a pinstripe suit, yes. Right? So it's how could we take that and deconstruct it? So what I did, I purposefully left the hems unhemmed, mm-hmm. and I just double stitched it. So when you wear it, as you wear it in time, it distresses. So it distresses over time, right? Mm-hmm. And I also inverted the grid lines of the pinstripe so that it's kind of clashing, but only on one leg, because one leg is cool, two mm-hmm. legs are predictable. Right. I also used silk, because when you look at high-end suits, the lining is typically silk, yes. Right? So it's how could we take that and make it into something extravagant and to wear as outerwear? Mm-hmm. So it's the fabrics are pinstripe cotton, silk, and silk organza.
Well, as we speak about that, if we can welcome maybe one piece from your collection.
Yeah,
to the
sure.
sets right now.
So we'll have Sherry. So Sherry's wearing the silk organza cropped top, mm-hmm. Crop shirt. What I did was I looked at the idea of the typical white shirt
right.
that you'd wear at work, and I deconstructed it and also added a level of elevation with the silk organza. And of course, cropped it, because Trinbagonians wear sexy, we like to show a little bit of skin sometimes. So it really gives it that luxe feel, but also a piece that you could wear outside of the office and, to a more casual, fun event.
And seeing the versatility in that for sure, but also the details and the buttoning. Tell us a little bit about that.
Right. So the buttoning, right? So I was playing with the idea of the pearl necklaces that
right. women
typically wear. So the buttons have pearl accents in it to kind of tie that in, and same thing on the pants. And as I was speaking about the inverting of the grid lines earlier, right. As you can see on the right leg of the pants, the stripes are inverted, so it makes this kind of cool clashing effect mm-hmm. on one of the legs of the pants. And obviously the hem is distressed.
I'm seeing the hem is distressed as well, which mm-hmm. definitely adds that unique flair.
Yes.
Something that, as you mentioned, we're going to be able to wear out and about regardless of what the setting is, which is so important. So you can go to the government office, you can get your business done, and you can go out afterwards and have a good time, which is very important. And also the material seems quite light.
Yes.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm, that was important.
Which is so important. Now, speaking about light material, this next piece that you have designed definitely evokes feelings of luxury, peace, yes. and honestly a bit of that idyllic Caribbean resort wear style as well.
Exactly. So this is the lovely ocean. So the dress she's wearing is made out of silk charmeuse, so it's very lightweight, right? And I was also playing with the idea of corporate is very rigid. So how could we make a dress that is still elegant and classy, but doesn't have those really rigid lines? So as you can see, the peplum has like an asymmetry to it. It has like a cowl neck, and I personally find sometimes cowl necks could look kind of like a mistake, but it's like still a purposeful thing that we have going on. So yeah, and this dress comes in white, champagne, and baby pink.
Now, speaking about these dresses and what they come in, ladies, thank you so much for being with us this morning with these excellent pieces. I understand also you're available retail.
Yes, so we're retail. These pieces are available at 36 Cornelio in Woodbrook, as well as Posh Collections, that's POSHH in Grand Bazaar.
Now, one of the things that you also mentioned, I'm just going back to the beginning of the conversation, was that we see a lot of resort wear, and that you wanted to marry the resort wear with what we know as perhaps, let's say, daily life in Trinidad and Tobago. How challenging was that for you? Like, what was that process like?
I didn't personally find it challenging. Like where I grew up, right? I grew up in Arima. So a lot of what I saw wasn't based in the resort, right? My first inkling of fashion was seeing, the people around me, the adults around me, take their corporate wear and add unique elements to it. So how they would hem or adjust their pants, the accessories they would wear. And also my father was a designer for many years. So I saw him like constructing pieces from scratch. So I feel like from a very young age, my mind has been conditioned to look at things and kind of mess it up a bit and make it into something equally as beautiful and useful, but with a twist on it. So when I was like working in my corporate job, and I was just like, I'm so like frustrated with it and looking at these gray walls, right? I was like, what could I do? And it just like made sense to make the patterns clash, leave some hems distressed, and take it from there. So yeah, it was easy.
And I mean, it's beautiful because yes, we see the distress, we see the way that you have really put a spin on it, but yet it looks so streamlined, which is something we all know we still need, especially going into corporate Trinidad and Tobago. So Kambe, for those who would like to get in touch with you, where can we find you?
You can find me on Kambe the brand on Instagram, and that's really, I only have an Instagram page right now, and you can also shop in stores, as I said, at 36 Cornelio and Posh Collections.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's been a pleasure, ladies. Thank you as well. And thank you for staying tuned to us right here on the Now Morning Show. We'll be back in a few moments right after this break.